And it's time. At noon. That's my favorite freaking. That's great. All right.
All right, folks. Welcome back to the AGT Podcast. My name is Kevin.
And I am Ben. Thank you guys for coming back to see us. This week's episode, we are super excited to announce, is officially sponsored by SwordGuyStore.com. Hence our new digs up here on the wall.
Samurai.
Yep. Which, stick around in the podcast, you guys will hear a little bit more about them later, but they have officially partnered with AlwaysGametime and have sent us over this amazing freaking katana, which we'll open up on the video later. Also, there's a video of me unboxing it and reviewing that and kind of talking about the partnership more. So click on that video here if you guys want to go check that out sometime after the podcast. But anyways, yeah, welcome back. It's been
a while.
Several weeks since I have seen Kevin, since we have recorded anything. And so this is technically our second recording session. My first question before we kind of get into the podcast, for those of you who have been keeping up with our content, is what do you guys think? Let us know. We would love to, whether you're watching us live right now on Twitch or comments on YouTube, tell us how you guys have been enjoying the content and what you guys would like to see different. Because man, we are might not seem like it, but we are working to get this stuff out. So in any case, Kev, I'm gonna send it right over to you. And
sure.
So you can kind of get us started this week.
Yeah. So I was a little bit late waking up today, as you know. I had to get over here. And so I woke up and my grandpa opened up the door. So I live with my grandparents, and he opened up the door, and my grandma was on the phone. I guess she'd been trying to call me.
Yeah.
And she was like, your grandma's trying to call it, and I was freaking out because I just woke up.
Just woke up. I
was
no idea
what's going on.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, did you use my card to buy Domino's last night? And I was like, no, why? And she's like, oh, did you use it to buy some lifts and this PayPal stuff and all this other stuff and iTunes? I was like, no, why would I use your card to buy any of that?
Right.
And she had to go up to the credit union bank and get all that sorted out, but she has had people steal her information I don't know how many times.
That's crazy. So you got woken up, you're still rubbing the crusties out of your eyes, and your grandparents
it was like,
why'd you buy Domino's?
It was sleep. Well, oh hey, who's on the phone?
Grandma. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Well, that sucks. I definitely know what that's like. I've had card information stolen before, so that's never fun.
I know. I think it was up at this Wendy's up by us. Someone inside. I think it was someone inside, because that's when it happened. Had took a picture of my card or something, or wrote it down, and
that's
then
crazy.
got
a worker or an
I guess a worker or employee.
That's crazy.
And had bought some $700 drone on Amazon, which obviously I didn't have $700.
Nice try. I don't have that.
But,
yeah. That's crazy. So, I've always wondered about that, too. How do people get away with it? I guess they don't. Because, you can't buy something on Amazon with someone else's card and then have it shipped to you, because then it's super obvious who did it, you'd think.
Kinda. Or
so I guess
can it be sent to a P.O. box?
Yeah, I guess. But then they could still...
Yeah, they have the name and all that.
What I guess you could do is send it to a random person's address and then know when it was getting delivered and just hang out there all day and wait for the delivery.
True.
But even that is, that's crazy. Anyway... Don't steal people's cards or money. Just,
please.
Yeah.
Don't be a criminal.
Don't be rude. Well, that sucks. I've been doing some interesting stuff. Maybe you guys didn't know, but I went on a family vacation for the 4th of July. I was gone from pretty much after we recorded to a week after that, and we went to go see my wife's family. They live in, I believe it was, oh God, she's gonna kill me. It's Indiana or Illinois. It's one of those two. It's one of the I states. Well, and then the other part of her family lives in Missouri. St. Louis. Yeah, that whole thing.
Doxing.
Either way, way farther west in the country than I typically would want to go to, unless it was South Dakota. Shout out to you people. So, dude, we had a very interesting freaking trip. First off and foremost, right, in-laws. I think everyone can kind of agree. In-laws,
my in-laws,
no matter how good your in-laws are, or people in general are, if you have to be in a car locked in a tiny space for 10 hours, it gets a little much after a while.
I didn't know they drove with you guys.
No, we drove them. So I convinced my wife to let me have the front seat, because I was I have anxiety from my car crash. I already am anxious about them being in the car. So give me the front. So we made her parents sit in the back seat. And then when we got there, we shepherded around her grandma too. So there was those 3 people in the back. Yeah. And I felt so rude. I felt so disrespectful by not giving it up. But I was like, I was also the biggest one too. So
I mean, I feel like whenever you are the biggest one, not like you, just like whenever you're the biggest one, you kind of have like precedence over like the front seat or like,
because you don't want to cram in the back with everyone, you know.
Yeah, and no one wants to be nice. Crammed in the back with you.
Yeah.
So it's like.
So the road trip, I mean, I wish I could say it was like, that definitely was not the part of the trip that was the best or anything.
That was the best.
It was probably the worst part, and I felt bad because my wife drove the whole way. It's like an 8-hour drive, but then plus breaks. But there was not much to see. I mean, we got there and it was cornfields, pretty much what you would expect from like the West. So anyway, we went there. We did quite a few like awesome things while we were there. I'm not going to take up the whole podcast with it, but you know, saw fireworks on 4th of July. We almost missed the show. They have like a neighborhood show. I guess they do it every single year there where they live. And it was like rainy, so I guess they put out at the last second, hey, we're starting the show 15 minutes early. So as we were walking to get to the fireworks show, we could see the fireworks going off. And so by the time we got there, we had like 6 minutes of fireworks and finale to watch. That being said, was incredible. Hopefully you all, if you celebrated the 4th of July or anything, did something fun, hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
I mean, really, all you really care about is the finale. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, and this one was crazy. It was kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
It was not the most fireworks I've ever seen off go at once, but it was probably the closest I've been to the explosions for a finale. So it was hard to watch, but it was really good. Of course, there was a lot of other stuff I did on the trip that we'll kind of probably get into as we talk here, but some things I missed. Yeah. Apex Legends Season 2 came out while I was gone. That was kind of tough, but I've been playing the mess out of it since I've been home. Most of you guys on Twitch probably know that. Spiderman came out while I was gone,
fantastic
and
movie.
I
no
couldn't
spoilers,
go see it. We're not going to do any kind of spoilers on the video today, but
just that it's a fantastic movie.
It is phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, it's insane. We might do like a full spoiler-filled review, but we haven't decided yet.
This doesn't. Well, if you do see it, I don't think this spoils anything, but I would stay around for post credits.
Oh, absolutely.
Or for like mid credits, end credits. I don't know what they call them now.
Both. There's 2.
Yeah, there's 2.
Make sure you watch both of them.
Doesn't spoil anything though, so don't harass me.
Yeah, I mean they're Marvel movies. Most people have caught on.
Yeah.
Also, Stranger Things came out.
Stranger Things season 3. I finished that in less than a day.
It took me a little while, but because so I was gone and I didn't have Wi-Fi. Her grandma's house had no signal, no Wi-Fi because she's a grandma and lives alone. She doesn't need it, and signal was very limited on the trip, so I couldn't watch anything while I was there. I came back and I decided, because I love Stranger Things so much, I rewatched season 1, 2, and 3, and I just finished it yesterday. So it took me like, I don't know, when did I get back? It took me probably 2 weeks to get through all of it again, and I loved that I did that because I would have remembered things just going blindly into season 3, but it meant a lot more to me to actually go through the experience again season by season.
I know there was some parts in season 2 where I was like, kind of losing me a little bit, like the whole backstory with her sister and all that. I mean, if you haven't seen it,
that was the biggest complaint. I mean, it's season 2, that's been out forever, so.
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, I like that it gave her a little bit of a backstory and it kind of explained the story a little bit more.
Yeah,
but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that was a very common complaint. I would agree, actually. I think season 1 and season 3 are my favorites. Season 2 I still think is good, but it's got more filler, I feel like. Yeah. But it was also very necessary. Dude, anytime I see anything in 3s, now granted, I think they're going to continue making Stranger Things as long as it's pulling in money. But anytime I see anything in 3s, movies, episodes, whatever, the middle stuff always is the worst.
Really?
And I feel like it's because it's a connecting thing. It's like they always hit it hard right at the first, right? And then usually they'll have a plan for what they want to do in later seasons, but then they have to build it out from the first season to kind of connect it. I don't know. I'm probably wrong.
I would think the second one is usually the best.
No.
Spider-Man 2.
Sequel? I mean, the second Spider-Man movie was phenomenal.
What was the second Star Wars Episode 5? Episode 5?
I don't remember.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah, I never remember the surnames.
That was great. Well, The Last Jedi, the newest one, That was the second one, so
yeah,
it doesn't work every time.
Maybe not. Let us know. But I feel like I've picked up on that in a lot of different movies, where it's like, or other things, where it's like the second one's just kind of. Which, for example, so Fantastic Beasts. Have you ever seen that? The Harry Potter prequel thing?
Excuse me, no. But I saw The Crimes of Griswold or whatever is on HBO.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the second one.
Did you? So you watched it?
I haven't seen that or the first one.
Okay. So the first one, amazing. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Cassandra and I rented the second one and watched it not that long ago, anticipating similar. Awful. We straight up hated it. It felt like it was all over the place and still nothing happened, and it was like confusing and not at all like the first movie, but they set it up so that the third movie looks freaking awesome. And I'm just like, this whole second movie, I could have gone without. I could have read an article and then walked into the third movie probably happy, which obviously the third one's not out yet, so.
But so here's something. Do you think that the third Spider-Man movie, granted, hopefully there's going to be one, is going to be so good that it makes this last one not good? Like, we were like, oh, the second one's not that good.
I don't think the second... No, because I don't think that this one, as good as it was, made the first one not good either, you know?
What do you think about this one versus the first one, Homecoming?
So, I think they're different styles, for sure. I love, obviously, same characters, right, for the most part, between, like, Spider-Man and his friends and all that. So, I loved it. It's got the classic Marvel humor, but also serious tone and action. I think if you're looking for interesting story with a lot of development, and you're not looking for like an origin, right? For Homecoming, a lot of it's him, you know, getting suit, figuring stuff out, kind of doing that stuff.
It's like an origin without the origin.
Exactly. They skip the origin and like very freshly new superhero kind of deal. I think I'll tell you this. I think one has a better villain story. Yeah. I think two. I love the villain in two with all my heart, and I think it was pulled off amazingly. And it's super interesting, and I've never even like seen other stuff like that in a movie as far as like character development.
But the first one, I mean, you can like sympathize with
the first
like,
villain
hardcore.
is just scarier, I think the first villain is just a cooler...
I don't think it's scarier. I think it's like you can understand him, you can relate to him more. Kind of like you can relate to Thanos like a little bit.
That being said, and obviously not trying to give away too much here, in the second movie, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away by not just the acting performance, but the character alone was pulled off so well and so cool. So
I love how this. I hope this doesn't give anything away, and it shouldn't. But I love how in Homecoming, Peter's like swinging abilities. It's like all right, you know, he's like learning it out.
Sure.
But then in the second one, you can really see he's like improved on like his fighting style.
And see, like I haven't even noticed that, so I'd have to go back and watch it. I want to honestly. It was a movie I walked out and immediately it was like I want to go see that again. So it was fun.
I was about to go. Not sneak into another movie theater.
Totally not. Yeah, so I mean, go see it. Those are some cool things that happened while I was gone, and since we've recorded the last episode of the podcast, so we figured we'd bring them up. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that too.
Something right before you left, we were hanging out with our buddy Parker. It was for his birthday, so shout out to Parker if you're watching this.
Yeah, BB. Happy B-Day. Late.
Yeah, happy belated. Even though we already told you regular happy birthday.
Yeah, we were there like during the birthday celebrations.
Yeah, so we went out to like this like a hipster type area.
Totally hipster.
Should we? Is Noda?
Yeah, if you guys are familiar with North Carolina at all or Charlotte, it's called Noda, and it's like typical. Like the buildings are like kind of beat down and hole in the wall on the outside, and then like super nice on the inside.
Yeah, it's the hipster vibe. It's like sort of like
a lot
old,
of bars,
like sleek, a lot of bars, a lot of like
music.
food places, live music, a lot of live music.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It's not really my scene, but the number one reason we went there, Kevin, is because
so Parker and myself have just for so long wanted to try this thing called elote. It's like Mexican street corn, if you've ever had it.
It's so good. I'll throw up a picture.
Corn. I don't know. But basically it's like corn on the cob, and then it's like crema mixed with like mayonnaise, and like they like spread that all around it, and then they spread cojita, whatever it is, cheese on it.
Oh yeah.
And they like sort of like, you know, shovel that on there a little bit, and then they put I don't know what kind of pepper
cayenne,
it is.
Maybe?
It's like cayenne,
paprika. One of the two, maybe.
I don't think it's paprika. It's something like spicy.
It's a spicy spice, but it's not like a heat spice as much.
And then if you want extra, which I thought it was great, you can put like hot sauce on it, which they had Valentina, which was like really sweet. I thought it was kind of like a sweet hot sauce, and it was so good.
Have you noticed we covered our food for this week's podcast? Guys, I mean, it was pretty interesting experience. It wasn't what I expected, but it was very good. I think I would have actually liked it with more mayonnaise on it because I'm disgusting. But it was good, and actually, I would actually prefer like a hotter chili spice than.
Yeah, well, I think more chili powder, or I think it's just chili powder actually. I think more of that because they kind of just did like a little.
Yeah.
But if they like really.
But so were you satisfied for your? Was that your first time trying it?
That was my first time trying it, and I was. It was great. I think.
Yeah.
Parker keeps trying to say that he thinks we can make better elote, which I agree.
Yeah,
but
I think we probably could, and then we wouldn't have to spend as much. Also, you brought up an interesting thing about people making it in bowls.
Yeah, it's called elote en vaso. Just corn in the cup.
Corn in the cup. That's great.
So I mean, I see people all the time. Oh, you can also use like lime juice or limon.
Also, I kind of wish they would have roasted the corn more. Like
I don't think they roasted the corn. I think they just like boiled it.
Yeah, I think if you would have roasted it on a grill, it would have brought out a lot more.
I think that's how they do it on like the street, like actual like street, whatever. But oh yeah, so I see like videos all the time of people making it like in a cup. They'll just put like a can of corn like on the stove and like let it cook or whatever, and put it in a bowl, squeeze like some lime over it, mix the mayonnaise and like cream over it, and put the stuff on top. I see some people use like Flamin' Hot Cheetos instead of like the chili powder, which I think would be really good.
Yeah. So we have some unfortunate news. It's not really unfortunate. It's just for me. I'm upset we're talking about all this delicious food. I started a diet as soon as I got back from my trip. That's another thing that happens. It's going well. I've lost like 20 pounds so far. I've got a lot to lose, but I'm just happy to see some progress. So I've started walking. I've walked like the last 6 days in a row. It's like the route I do is like 2.5 miles. So it's pretty serious walking for like going from nothing to doing stuff. And also I'm doing keto, which I know if you mention keto on the internet, 50% of people will call you an idiot and yell at you, and the other 50% of people will swear it's the best thing ever. And I don't even know if I'm necessarily doing it right. I mean, I know what I'm eating is right for keto, but like as far as like keto flu and stuff like that, I might have gone through it, but it's so hard to tell. It could also just be like your body reacting to exercise or eating less or anything. So in any case, I started a diet. I'm mad about it now. I went from the stage where the first week it was easy because I was like, all right, yeah, I'm motivated. Now I'm in the second week where I'm just angry at my life decision. I'm like, I want Taco Bell. I want cookies. I want elote. And it really is kind of a tragic thing too. So as much as bettering myself and trying to get in better shape is a good thing, Kevin and I have an idea for a second YouTube channel.
I would love Kevin's to have a second YouTube channel of just like trying out different foods, reacting to different type of foods. I mean, honestly, like I feel like there's a lot of them out there. I know, like Dame Drops has one. Like
I'm sure,
but
like none of those people are us.
Yeah.
Joey's World Tour.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh God, I can't stand him.
Hey everybody, I'm back. He like does this intro that like kind of hurts me. God. But Joey, I mean, you're a legend, so.
I mean, I would like to just try food. Honestly, I think it would be really cool to have like my own TV show and like go around to like different like cities and like different countries and like try out like different types of food, but maybe make that in like a smaller scale in a YouTube channel and like here.
So I mean, I think it'd be really fun because obviously we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. I think it'd be entertaining for us to try stuff that we see, not only just internet trends, but also like ideas we come up with, and then obviously that saves you guys the time of you watch our video and you find out if it's good or not, right?
Like what's a suggestion for a food that you got from?
I don't know, I guess put me on the spot here.
Peanut butter and pickles.
Sure, peanut butter and pickles, right? Or something like that.
Listen, I guarantee over everyone that is listening,
I'm imagining
just collectively.
I'm imagining like peanut butter celery, but then the sweet like sour of a pickle.
I bet it would. Anyway. Just a long thing of celery, put peanut butter in it, and then put like little dill chips in the celery. Oh, that'd be great.
We also were wondering too, Kevin's I think mostly joking about this, but he was like talking about an ASMR channel.
Dude, let's do it.
Maybe the food reviews are done in ASMR.
Ooh.
All right, I'm now going to apply the barbecue sauce to the microphone.
I'm now going to take a bite of the celery.
Yeah, so we don't know. We're talking about it, but it also would be hard to kind of start right now, at least for me, just because keto is a pretty strict diet, and unlike other diets, like if you're just portioning your foods, That's like a good thing to do. But keto is kind of extreme in the fact where if you start to eat carbs again or eat the foods you're not supposed to, it can completely throw you out of the fat burning that you're like in. So we're just playing it by ear right now, just kind of throwing some ideas together. But let us know if you guys would be interested in something like that. I think it'd be pretty cool. One other thing, just to kind of transition to, Kevin had a really cool idea for the podcast. You know, we're in the 3rd week of it, technically. We have already got our official sponsor, our first one, which is awesome and exciting, and we'll definitely talk about them soon. But an Ask Us Anything segment, or Ask Ben and Kev questions. We want to open this up to you guys and, you know, leave us questions in the comments, whether it's a personal question about Kevin or myself, or if it's a question like, would you rather do this or this, that kind of thing. We'd love to see that because it gives us something to look at during the week, but also we would love to implement a segment where we answer your guys' questions and feature them on the podcast. So.
I mean, honestly, I just kind of love answering questions. So
yeah.
You can just rapid fire them, honestly.
Yeah, and it's nice content for us too, because we can, one, you guys get to build a better relationship with us and understand us better, but two, it's just fun to try to come up with answers. Maybe we do rapid fire or something like that. So be thinking about that. Please leave us comments. And guys, if you're not sharing the podcast with people, please just do it. I think that we provide a valuable service to Americans and other people of the world, not just Americans, everyone who needs something to mindlessly listen to while they're working, driving, walking. So do it.
Hopefully we can get this whole show on the road soon. Get us on like Spotify, maybe iTunes.
Yeah, so we had a
have it in the background while you're working. You know?
Mm-hmm. Right now it is only on YouTube, which I have YouTube Red, or like the paid one, so I can listen to stuff with my phone locked. But not a lot of people can do that. So we'd really like to get the podcast up onto Spotify and iTunes, but right now we're working to try to get that done. So in the meantime, premieres live every Monday night at Twitch, twitch.tv/AlwaysGametime, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. But it'll always be up on YouTube as well too. So, dude. So one thing, this is completely random, has nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far. I saw this prank on YouTube probably 2 years ago, and I've managed to get my wife with it like 5 times in like 2 years. And for those of you who don't know the prank, it's called the straw prank. It's a pretty classic one, but it is so hilarious when you pull it off. So basically, what you do is, to give you context, we were all standing around in Cassandra's grandmother's kitchen. Just some were sitting, standing, we were talking. We just got back from some restaurant, and I had a drink. I was drinking it, and I go to offer Cassandra some. And so normally, like, if they're not holding it, you know, you just hold it out, and you're like, hey, drink this, or have some, or try it, or whatever. And what you do to stage this is you put your finger on the straw, and you that way you bend it towards them. And then right as they go to put their mouth on the straw, you just slide your finger up and put your finger out so it's over the straw. And they go and they put their mouth on your finger and try to drink. And they go, oh! It is the funniest. Listen, maybe that makes me crazy. It is the funniest thing ever to watch that reaction. This one was the best one I've ever done because A, she was talking to her family as she was reaching for it, so she wasn't even looking. And B, she went, I could feel her go for a big sip and just nothing. It's so satisfying. I don't know. I wanted to bring it up because April Fool's Day used to be one of my favorite holidays growing up. So I always looked up super whatever pranks. This one's just kind of a stupid little gag, but it is so funny.
I thought you were going to say you whatever bend the straw back a little bit and ding, flick them with it. But that's not really much.
You just straight up boop, and they don't even notice. There's I mean, obviously it involves, putting your hand in people's mouths, so maybe don't do it to a stranger.
Maybe have your hands washed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common courtesy if you're going to try to pull it off on someone. But the look on her face, man. Anyway, that was a totally random tangent, but I wanted to share with you guys. I guess I'm proud, in a way, that I was able to pull it off.
Sure.
Also, while I'm tangenting, sorry guys, I've got a lot to talk about just because I was gone for a week, and we did a lot of cool stuff on our travel. So we went to St. Louis. And
Missouri.
Yeah, one of her family members owns a convertible. It's a really nice, and I'd never ridden in a convertible, and Cassandra had never driven one. Oh. So he was like, hey, tossed her the keys, go take this out for a ride. And as we were backing up, it was a full car. It was her, her aunts, me, and her dad. Me and her dad were in the back seat, and we were like, oh man, there's storm clouds. Looks like it's far off or whatever. So we're driving around, and if the trip had been like 20 minutes, we would have been fine, and we would have made it back and everything. But the trip was like 40 minutes, and there was a point where now the entire sky was just black. And it was like, yeah, but it was like scary because, again, we're in a convertible, and it's the kind where you have to park your car, get out, take off the cover, and then it'll automatically do it. And so we're like, oh my God, we got to get home. So we're
did y'all not do that?
Well,
just park real quick.
So by the time it was like that bad, we were like, oh crap, we got to start going back or whatever. So Cassandra starts beelining it, and like seconds after she makes the decision to head home, it starts raining.
Oh.
And so we're all getting rained on, and we're like, oh my God, this sucks. And as she's driving, the rain's hitting us like harder because it's like whipping us in the face. And so me and her dad are really getting the worst of it, getting soaked. I'll throw up some video. I have pictures and videos. Hopefully those are up right now. And we get to a red light, and we're like, well, we can't like get out because it's going to turn green in a second. And now we're stuck. We were trying to get to a gas station that was covered. And so we're just sitting at a red light for like 12 seconds, just like, oh no, in the convertible. And so long story short, we eventually pulled into the gas station and everything was fine. And the owner was not very upset. He was like, it's whatever, it happens. But he immediately, when we got back, started drying it with a towel. Like, he cares about his car a lot. So that was horrible.
It reminds me of the time, it was years ago, we went up to Ichthus. Actually, the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out to Ichthus. We went up there and we were going down to like the barn or whatever to like do our nightly whatever worship and whatever.
Yeah.
And we were in the back of, I think it was Brock's truck.
I believe it.
It was like me and Tristina, one of our friends. Shout out Tristina. And I think like Christian Arias maybe.
Yeah, he was probably there.
And it just started, like on the way down the hill, it just started pouring down.
Which is already sketchy because the mountain roads are steep and windy. So now the back area is wet, and like Brock drives pretty fast. So
oh man, it like pouring, like
yeah,
it hurts like when it hits you. Not like because of the wind, just like straight down. And I mean, we ended up. I think we were just gonna like, all right, forget it, we're soaked. Because like at first we were kind of like, we was like, no, we can't. We can't stop the rain.
Yeah, you're a truck bed. I mean, I'm okay with rain as like being out in it if I anticipated it as like a thing, you know. But so anyway, that was one disaster that happened on the trip, but that was fun. Speaking of like convertibles and nice cars too, so a boyfriend of a family member, I guess that's as far as we'll get into it. His name is not important. He's a really cool dude, but we went over to his house and I saw one of the like. I don't think he's like rich necessarily, but his house is insane, Kevin. I walk in there, I don't know anyone, so we like do our introductions. He's hanging out with a bunch of his guy friends there or whatever. And in the Midwest, they all usually do basement houses, so it's like kind of like 3 stories. So his was finished and obviously really nice. So we're sitting there mingling, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey Ben, you like cars?" And I was like, before I could even respond, he's like, "Come on back, I got something to show you." And so it's very much his personality. He's like up in your face, like loud, but he's a nice dude. Yeah. So he brings me out back, and he's got like this driveway and then his garage, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this 6-car garage or whatever." It's like, I got these really nice cars. And so I'm sitting there and I see 3 cars in the driveway, and then he opens the garage door and I see 3 cars, and I was like, I guess that's what he meant by 6 cars. No. You walk in and you look a little bit closer. He's got these like lifters that he's got 3 cars parked on the bottom and then 3 cars parked on top of those cars in his garage. And I was just like, wow, what does this feel like? I was like, what does it feel like to own this many? And they were nice too. There was like a Camaro, there was a Charger, there was like a Mini Cooper, there was 2 Corvettes. I was just like, oh my gosh. He was like, yeah. And then like his other hobby was like flying like RC jets.
Oh yeah.
He was like, yeah, this thing can go 120 kilometers an hour. I was like, how do you know what's going on? He's like, yeah, big field. I was like, that's not gonna be enough. So he had a 6-car garage, which was insane. And then in his basement, he had like all sorts of like random but like valuable old stuff from all over the place, like a ticket thing and a pool table. It was like a man cave in the basement. Yeah. He had fish tanks that were inset with the wall. So like you come down and there's just massive fish tanks on the wall, and I was like,
I like those. Those are cool.
I was like, holy cow! was like, I don't even know this guy.
Oh, Frey.
But his house is like, so I asked him what he did. I was like, because obviously I should do that now. He's worked on cars his whole life. It was basically his story. Until he owned a business and then blah, blah, blah. But he did bring up an interesting point. I was like, he worked his whole life for it. I think he said he worked 50 years in a row and now he's retiring. So he must be probably upper 60s or 70 probably. And he doesn't look like it, of course. But jerk. No, I'm just kidding. But he was like, that's the problem with, young people. They just want everything now. He's like, I've been working for this my whole life, and even this isn't, everything that I want it to be. But and it brought up an interesting point, because part of me was like so wowed by like the awesome stuff. I was like, and I totally felt it. I was like, dang, I'm so jealous. Like, I wish I could just have this like blah 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 whatever, material stuff, I guess. And then I was like, I mean, right now from the surface, it just looks like he's this guy with all this nice stuff, but he's old and has worked for 50 years and has probably got all that stuff through that hard work. So, in any case, he had some nice cars. I think one of them was a convertible, but I just was like, that's crazy. I was not expecting going into that house and having that thrown at me. Yeah. It's like, oh, crap, this is nice. I was like in sweatpants, I'm pretty sure, and a t-shirt hoodie, looking like a bum. And I don't have a job, so I was sitting there feeling even worse. And I don't have a car, so I was like, this guy's got 6. I was like, that's crazy. Anyway, so he was really cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it makes you want to ask stuff like that, but it's like, ugh. And he was like talking about how he got one for free because some guy went to jail, and then he put some work into it. And I was like, it's crazy. So anyway, don't get bought up in the material stuff. It's hard. We're all human. We all obviously want to lead successful lives, but it's crazy, man. It's just crazy what people go through and the things they spend their money on. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to find what makes us happy, right? So, true. It's crazy. Anyway, what do you want to talk about?
Shoot. So, I see you played some Fortnite the other day. Trying to get back into that?
Of course you bring that up. Yeah, so I played some Fortnite on stream the other day just because I woke up and I was like, you know what? I haven't played in almost 5 seasons. It can't be as bad as I remember. And I loaded up on PS4 because a couple of my friends were like...
And it wasn't as bad.
Trying to get into it. And it was pretty fun. I would say the game mode that they had out when I loaded it was perfect for getting back into it. Because it was like...
The Rumble?
2 big teams. Yeah, and you would just respawn.
I think Rumble's a permanent game mode if I'm not mistaken.
I was like... Because I got like 18 kills. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And when I died, I still had loot. Yeah. So it was helpful for me to get back into like the building mechanics and the shooting and all that. And so it's pretty fun. Honestly, I think the only way I can enjoy it though is playing with people. I know, and Kevin likes Fortnite, so I think we'll definitely start playing Fortnite more on stream, hanging out, whatever.
Probably just on stream though. I feel like that's not really like a YouTube sort of.
Yeah, at least not with our setup. If we could capture both perspectives, maybe. But so yeah, I mean Fortnite. I mean, I still prefer Apex and love Apex, and I've been grinding ranked like crazy. But in the world of gaming, I think I'm ready to maybe give it another shot, as long as I've got someone there with me to like dilute it, so it's not just gameplay. Sure. Also, speaking of games, new Call of Duty.
Dude, the new Call of Duty.
Holy crap!
So good.
It looks amazing. I was watching that 2v2 thing with like Courage and all them. It looks insane.
It looks really good. It sounds really good. Mm-hmm. The gameplay looks like it's really fluid.
It doesn't even really look like Call of Duty. I mean, it does a little bit, but it looks more
slightly like Battlefield. Yeah. I think that's the new engine or whatever.
Do you know when it comes out?
October 25th?
Yeah.
That's if that's right.
I'll probably hit that one.
I deserve a dollar.
I'll probably hit that one pretty hard.
Honestly, yeah.
I got World War II. Is that the newest Call of Duty?
Black Ops 4.
And
I've been getting back into that.
I got Black Ops 4, and I've been considering going back to some multiplayer, but I just would rather be playing Apex, unfortunately. It was a great game. I liked Black Ops 4 a lot. I just never put that much time into it. The BR I thought was okay, but better with friends for sure. Zombies was kind of out there.
Excuse me. So they tried to like start that whole new storyline, and they're still like kind of doing that, but they're sort of like wrapping up the Ether storyline, like Dempsey and Richtofen and all that.
Yeah, I saw the new map you sent me the other day, like the Nuketown.
Yeah, it's all like Nuketown. You get to go into like all the other houses.
Yeah,
You get to go in the bunker.
So new Call of Duty, I don't know, let us know what you guys anticipate in the comments. At the end of the day, it's a Call of Duty game. So if you're not a fan of the multiplayer as much, then I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. But I'm definitely going to pick it up. I buy every Call of Duty game that's come out, and I'm kind of craving it, the multiplayer again. And I don't think I want to go back to BO4. I think I'm just going to wait until this one pops. And another thing I haven't even considered is like different game modes. Like I always play Domination and TDM, but I was watching some YouTube content recently of people playing Search and Destroy, and it looks so much fun.
Yeah, dude, I want to get like a search team together, but I mean, to get a full lobby is like, kind of hard.
Yeah.
Back in like MW2 days, Black Ops like 1 days, it was like it's kind of easy. I mean, just because I knew like a lot of people.
Are you gonna get it on PS4?
Probably.
I think I get the DLC first and everything too. I'll probably get it on PS4 too, just because. I mean,
also noticed. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't think that there's like a you have to heal yourself.
Heal yourself, yeah.
There is something called a stim pack, which I think like heals you like quicker, and it's in the 2v2 like every now and then. Because in the 2v2 you can't like regen health.
You can't heal at all. Yeah.
But if you get the stim, then you get your health. But
I mean, I've always had them on Xbox, but I've just been playing more and more on PS4 because that's what my current friend group is on. So that game, and there's like that new roller derby game should be coming out.
Is that coming out on PlayStation or just PC?
Yeah, no, it's coming out on all consoles and everything. So I told Roster Freak, shout out to you. I'm sure you're probably watching. He asked if I was gonna get it, and I was like, "Is it on console?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah," because PC games are tough right now, but it's really fun. I really enjoyed playing it when it was out for the like private testing weekend or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. And then, I mean, we got all the new consoles coming out around the corner. Project Scarlet, the new PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, we got a year and a half. It's really tough.
Guarantee it. Okay, over under $800.
I'm gonna say under.
Under 800.
I'm gonna think they're gonna find a way to make it $7.99 or $7.50.
Honestly, I feel like it could be like $8.99.
And it probably
just how they're
be.
talking about
but
it.
If you think about the X, right? The X was $500 on release, and obviously this one is supposed to be like 4 times more powerful and do like 8K and be this awesome thing. But at the end of the day, too, I think they're gonna have a hard time breaking from the mold of console company. You know, I mean, they're making it so much more universal with their games, with their Game Pass Ultimate. You can play games on PC and stuff like that, and they're trying to make a true console machine that can rival that of a gaming PC. And while I think that obviously $1,000 is actually like really competitive, because you can't get that much on a gaming PC for $1,000. Some people will argue that, but you can't. Like, you're going to be throttling, you're going to be worrying about FPS and stuff. So I think they're justified to. I just don't think that they're going to, because I think they're going to have a problem with sales. I don't think a lot of people, I mean, other than like obviously content creators, people that can afford it and stuff like that, but I think a vast majority of success from Xbox and their direction that they've been moving in is the universal movement where everyone has access, everyone can play together, and so I think that's going to kind of limit them. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like really expensive, but because I mean iPhones and stuff go for that much. But I think they're going to be under 800. It's just my prediction. But
I feel like if it has close to like $800, $700 sort of price range, honestly, just buy a computer for that much.
Yeah, but see, and it depends. It honestly depends. I love computer games and gaming PCs, and I think that you get more from it when you do it that way, because you can always still play with a controller. But something about having a portable console, honestly, the biggest draw to it is consistency. With a PC, no matter how nice your computer is, there's a lot of things to worry about. There's maintenance, right? When a console comes to you, I haven't done anything to my Xbox since I bought it for years.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't have to worry about like changing the graphics card or
and even though I know that it's subpar performance when compared to what it could be, it's consistent. Yeah. And that's a big draw for me. I want to be able to load up, right? And especially now that loading times and things like that are all going to be diminished, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Now, the feel, and honestly, they already started making some games compatible on Xbox where you can plug in a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
So I would be
on Fortnite right now as well.
Yeah, so if that's obviously, to me, seems obvious that it'll be implemented with Scarlet. So it's almost like you have a PC. You just can't browse the internet. It's just for gaming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited for it though. New tech. It's gonna be great. this is a pretty good segue, and then we'll probably do an ad read. But while I was on my trip, I was talking with someone in Cassandra's family. They're cool, right? They like gaming. They're a gamer. And we were just kind of talking about how much gaming has changed since like Super Nintendo, like Mario days to like Apex Legends and all that stuff. And we were talking about multiplayer, and kind of not necessarily a revelation, but an idea came to my head. I was like, you know why those games were highly addictive, like the Mario based story games and stuff like that before, is because they didn't have like a multiplayer, right? Unless you're like local, right, kind of thing. But they didn't have online massive multiplayer like we do today. So instead, what they did to supplement that and to give it replayability was insane difficulty, right? A lot of people are not good at Mario, and some of the levels start to get really, really hard as you progress through the game. And that difficulty is what I think gaming back then used a lot to kind of entice people into playing them. Because like, oh man, Mario, that's like tough platforming game, blah blah blah. Yeah. You know? And it's changed now to where a lot of the games that make it big right now, or the focus on medias like Twitch and YouTube, are competitive multiplayer. You know?
Yeah, and I think it kind of gave way to have people come over like to your house to play Mario. Like, hey, I need help on this level, or hey, co-op, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Just because it was so hard. And even I think also the controls probably made it a little hard, because they were probably limited a little bit by that. Because I mean, I guarantee if you put the same NES game, or put like an Xbox 360 controller in your hands,
sure,
you could probably do it like a little bit better.
Gotcha. Right. Like just as technology advances, right, they make it more user friendly and stuff like that.
Because I mean, the NES was just like a D-pad and like two like just regular buttons.
And don't get me wrong, I think there still is a big appreciation for story in games, and artwork and art styles and diversity in missions and things like that. But I just want to see kind of a resurgence, I feel like
in single player games? Or hard games?
Not even necessarily single player, but just I want to see people, like the people using media like Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. I want to see the kind of the top molds get broken a little bit. I want to see other types of games up there in viewers and become popular too. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's whatever. You can find content on whatever game you want to, but like it's all League of Legends, Apex, Overwatch, PUBG, Fortnite, like, and I don't know. It's kind of sad for me not to see, like, I guess the only time you see story-based games up there usually is when they release the day of, right? Because all the big streamers are like, all right, brand new game, we'll spend 8 hours, play through the campaign.
And they honestly usually probably play like way beforehand. Like I know, I mean, because like back then, like streamers, YouTubers, whatever, they got their hands on the new Call of Duty,
right,
like, on release day.
Yeah.
But now it's like, hey, come months in advance to play our game and show it out to the public.
Yeah. So I don't know. The world of gaming is always changing, and it's crazy, like, to just even think about our generation, like what we started with, where we're at now, and where we're gonna go in the future. Whether that's VR, whether that's I don't even know. Like, it's crazy to think about. It's almost too much for me to think about where things could go in terms of games and what's going to be popular in 15 years, Yeah. It's insane. But anyway, that's kind of a random tangent. Let me tell you about this week's sponsor, SwordGuyStore.com, coming in clutch. Again, there is an unboxing video, review video, if you guys would like to click on that sometime after the podcast and learn more about our partnership. But Sword Guy Store has officially partnered with AGT to bring you and audience members at home fantastic, amazing swords, whether you're an enthusiast, a cosplayer, someone who, like me, who's just looking for something cool like a decoration on a wall, or practical for martial arts training even. Sword Guy Store has it all, and the coolest part is they make swords. They're not just replicas, they're legit. We'll show this one off in a second, but they make swords based on anime series, movies, video games, and more. And so definitely be sure to check out their website. Another cool thing that we're doing in this partnership is if you guys make an order, you can use a special code that I have, which is agtfreegift, and you guys are going to receive a free gift with your purchase, with your order. So kind of going above and beyond, you'll get your awesome sword that you've been looking for, and then you'll also get a free gift with your order. Again, that's AGT free gift at SwordGuyStore.com for sharp, functional, awesome swords that are based on anime, gaming, movies, and much more. visit swordguystore.com. And thank you very much for sponsoring this week's episode of the podcast, Sword Guy.
Forgot how heavy it was.
Yeah, it's legit. Yeah, this is a Samurai Jack katana. And it's obviously brand new, manufactured just for this. It's got a beautiful sheath that you can obviously put the sword in when you're done with it. But the actual blade itself is just incredible. If you guys are looking for more specifics on the blade, you can find them on the site. Or that unboxing video. We did a really good job kind of checking that out. Next week, I don't know if Kevin's going to be around for it, maybe. But we're going to film a video of us chopping stuff up, like water bottles, fruit, milk, all sorts of different things. So that'll kind of give you guys, like, it's legit. I know you can't tell through the video necessarily, like you don't have your hands on it.
I mean,
you could cut someone's head off with that probably. Or at least kill them.
I don't want to do it.
You can touch it. You don't move it. Oh, that's so sharp. I almost got myself there just touching it.
Well, I was gonna draw a little bit of blood, but
oh god, no! You saw my videos too, where I cut the water bottle in half. It's actually hard to swing a freaking sword, man. It's not easy, but this one's beautiful. I love Samurai Jack growing up, and it is a awesome sword, man. I just can't talk highly enough of it. I'm very proud to have this partnership. I think that those of you in my community will think this is a cool thing, and you guys can feature this at home on your own. And the more that you guys support us in the partnership, the more that we have the opportunity to do. We've been in discussion for quite a few different things with Sword Guy to bring up potential future events, giveaways, other things. And so buy a sword. And if you don't need a sword, find someone that does and send them at least, the unboxing video, or send them to Sword Guy with the code. And just be sure to use that, because then they know you guys came from us. So pretty neat. Hand that over to Kevin. So, yep, that is our first official sponsor of the AGT Podcast. Again, thank you. Huge shout out. Go check them out. It's a lot of fun. And, buy a sword. Yeah, there you go. We just figured we'd feature it on the wall today so you guys could look at it. It's also been in our gaming videos. It's pretty cool. Yeah, man. So, thank you. Thank you again for that. Obviously, if you guys would like to sponsor the podcast, reach out to us. Rolled
Golds, please. Wendy's. Please, God, I beg you, Wendy's. Please.
Dude.
DiGiorno.
DiGiorno, I'm glad you... So, talking about pizza. So, have you ever had St. Louis style pizza?
Like deep dip? Like Chicago style?
No. Okay. It's okay, so it's like thin crust, but it's weird. Okay, and I know a lot of people like it. I actually enjoyed it, but the whole ride up, Cassandra's mom would not stop talking about this restaurant called Peroni's. And she was like, I know exactly what I'm going to order. We have to eat there. If we don't eat there, I'm going to break stuff. And we're like, okay, we'll go to Peroni's, whatever. And we got there, and it was awful. I hated it. Think like Little Caesars. No, CC's. Buffet style, thin crust, but bad.
Oh.
Not good. They cut it up into squares, and that's okay. That's kind of cool. But I couldn't figure it out. It was greasy. It was thin crust, but it was chewy. And the sauce tasted like it had cheese mixed in with the sauce, but then also cheese on top of the pizza. So it just was a blend that I was not particularly fond of. And feel free to roast me in the comments, guys. Everyone to each their own. But I was just not impressed. Now, there was a redeeming quality. If you're familiar with St. Louis or have ever been there, then you know of Emo's, which is another pizza joint that is St. Louis is kind of known for. And so I was like, all right, well, maybe this will kind of redeem St. Louis for me, redeem this pizza. And it looks wise exactly like Peroni's, but it tasted way better. Oh. And I was like, okay, this is passable. I would totally eat this. It's pretty good. I like the squares. The only problem is I feel like with squares I eat more, because they're just with the pizza.
Because they're smaller, so you're like, oh.
And I don't mind, and also thin crust. I don't mind thin crust, but that one was pretty good. So I do approve of Emo's pizza, but yeah, St. Louis style. What do you think? I mean, what do you prefer in your crust? Do you like thick crust? Do you like deep dish? Do you like thin?
Honestly, I'm a good fan of the thin New York style crust.
Okay.
I don't. It's just. I don't think you need a super thick crust. I mean, it's good every now and then, but you don't really need it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the pizza. The star of the pizza is the toppings, right? So.
Yeah,
I do like dough though. I actually really like a bready pizza, but I'm not picky. It's freaking pizza, dude. It sounds so good.
I don't think the bottom, I don't like the bottom to be too crispy, but it has to have some flop,
Sure, you gotta have that flop.
Gotta have flop.
Yeah.
But if I pick up a piece of pizza and it like
There's a board.
Yeah, that's not gonna be. I mean, maybe if you do the little, where you sort of like fold the pizza a little bit,
Yeah.
and that's where it sticks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, like having like the tip flop down a little bit, that's
God. Now all I want is a Costco pizza. So anyway, I thought I'd bring that up because that's a big state. Like Emos is a big deal in St. Louis, and I was like, this is interesting. I've never had pizza like this before, so hopefully I described it accurately enough for those of you. But it was interesting. I prefer my style probably, but I would.
What's
totally
your favorite
use
style?
it again. I like bready. Like Papa
yeah.
John's crust is like pretty good. Like their standard, like just original pizza crust when you think of pizza is pretty good. Deep dish is whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm a pizza fan, so any pizza is fine.
Dude, I saw a video the other day, and it was a Chick-fil-A pizza.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
So what they did was they got like a pre-made like dough or whatever, like pre-made like pizza bottom. So I had like the crust on the bottom and all that.
Yeah.
And they got one of like the things of the sauce, the little containers of Chick-fil-A sauce, and they spread that all out. And then they had like nuggets, whatever, like an 8 count or 12 count or whatever, like cut up in like halves or whatever, and like sprinkled all throughout. And then they had like some fries, throughout the whole pizza. Then they put like cheese and stuff, like mozzarella, Monterey Jack, whatever cheddar on top, so it like sort of seals it a little bit.
Right.
And they put it in the oven for a little bit. That looks really good. It kind of looks like a barbecue chicken pizza, except it's Chick-fil-A sauce.
Chick-fil-A's chicken can't be beat too, man. It's so good. I mean, Zaxby's is good, but it's different. Bojangles is good, also do. Chick-fil-A's is just, it's like kind of sweet, but it's so. I'm gonna have to go get like a Chick-fil-A patty.
Did you want to go get Chick-fil-A after that?
Maybe.
Oh, you can't eat it. Oh, wait.
Well, I can have grilled chicken.
Do you want?
Maybe I'll have to talk to my wife because I don't know what her plans are.
All right.
So yeah. So anyway, kind of just recap. Saw Spider-Man, Stranger Things, all that stuff while I was gone. On the trip, obviously we did like the typical tourist things. So we saw the Gateway Arch.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. If you're ever in St. Louis, go do it. It's cheap. I think it's like $15 a person.
Just to see the arch?
Well, to go up in it. And then also they have a museum that you can go through. The gift shop will rob you because it's obviously like a museum. But dude, it's 630 feet tall. It's the tallest. What was it? Not landmark. I think it is the tallest constructed landmark in America.
Taller than the Washington Monument, because I know that's pretty tall.
Yeah, and it's taller than the Seattle Space Needle. It was 605 feet, but it was incredible. The elevator you get in is real tiny. It's like a circle, and it's supposed to sit 5 people. Thank God it was just Cass and I in there because it would not have fit 5 people.
Oh, was it like creaking and moaning?
Well, I mean the weight wouldn't have been a problem, but everyone's legs are supposed to be like crammed it. So anyway. And it takes 4 minutes to get up, 3 minutes to get down. Which, by the way, I hate that they tell you because I'm like, I don't want to know that I'm going faster down. Like, obviously, gravity is assisting. That's why. But no. And they brag because they're like, yeah, it's like an escalator, an elevator, and a something else all in one because it's a curved elevator. It's kind of trippy. But you get up there and there's these windows. They're like 7 inches tall and 21 inches long. And you can look, and supposedly, if you're on a clear day, you can see 30 miles in either direction. Ooh. So that was really cool because obviously you're so high up, you can see all this stuff. It's terrifying if you're scared of heights, like me, kind of. But you're enclosed, so it's not so bad. The part that I thought was the coolest and gave me the most respect for the monument, maybe it was a monument, not landmark, monument, sorry, was the pictures of them building it. Because they built this thing in 1970. Or 1960s, somewhere in those years.
I thought it was way.
I would have. Well, what, further back?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was shocked it was that far back. There was a picture, Kevin, of them on the very top piece of the arch after they finished. There was a guy shining it, just strapped in on a vest, 630 feet in the air, on top of a metal smooth surface. I was like, heck no. I don't think there's enough money in the world. I mean, there is, but. That's insane. That was that guy's job, was to somehow.
Was he not strapped onto anything, or was it just standing?
No, he had a vest and he was strapped to something. But even still, could you imagine how scary to slip and then be dangling 630 feet in the air?
No. Oh, I don't want to think about it.
And it's old technology.
Oh no.
I know, it's terrifying. So the fact that they were able to pull that off and have it be as exquisite as it is, I mean, it's insane. I mean, standing by it, I wanted to take a picture. It'd be like me with the St. Louis or the Gateway Arch, and it'd just be like a close-up of me against it, so all you see is a metal wall and you don't even see it. But I mean, it's massive, and the museum was cool. Cass and I got some pictures of We rarely take like a good couple photo in front of those green screen things at exhibits, but we took a really good one, so we bought those. Nice. And then, so 2 other things we did that were probably the highlight of my trip. 3 other things, sorry. We went to the City Museum, which an old friend of mine told me about, and I actually was one of my potential plans to propose to Cassandra was there. Glad I didn't, because we got there, and basically the whole building is a jumbled up jungle gym. And so like there's metal pipes you can climb in, there's like big extravagant like fish sculptures you can slide down, and like colors and interactive things, and you can get all the way up to the roof, which is like 11 stories high, and they have a giant slide on the roof, they have a Ferris wheel on the roof, a crane, all this stuff. The second that we walked in and bought our tickets, we pretty much realized it's like a thing you should do if you have kids. Because I was too big to crawl through a lot of the stuff. I mean, the very first thing we tried, it was this fish, and we got up in there, and it was already kind of tight, but I was like, all right, I can fit there. And one way was a spiraling metal thing kids were crawling in. We're like, all right, that's not going to happen. Cassandra's leading the way. We go down this other path, and she's like, yeah, it's wider over here. We can do it. But to get to the wider section, there's a narrow, like, smooth stone, like, thing you have to crawl through. And so she goes through, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, I gotta be there for my wife. So I'm like forcing myself. I'm literally like stuffing parts in to slide through, which I hate. And I'm about all the way. I just got my butt through the gap, and Cassandra says, go back. And I was like, why? She's like, it gets tighter up here. And I was like, oh. So then I had to like slide myself back through. And when I came out, there was 3 kids like, what's happening?
That's like nightmare fuel, honestly.
So we got out, and a lot of the stuff we did get to do, like there was a slide incident where Cassandra hurt her foot, but there was like some cool stuff we got to climb on and see. Would we do it again? If I was in better shape, or if we had kids, maybe. But it was crazy too. Like parents were just leaving their kids running around, and like we went through
Discovery Play or Center,
but sketchy, dude, because we went in this underground like cave part. It was all still in the building, obviously, but it was designed in such a way that kids could explore, and there's all sorts of nooks and crannies that lead to different places. But there were things that you would look at and just be like, I don't know if that's just a hole a kid could fit in or an actual designed like tunnel that they're supposed to crawl in. So I can't imagine being like, go have fun, Susie, and just leaving my kid to go, because it's crazy. And they don't make you sign any kind of waiver or anything.
I would think that they do, because I think they make you sign a waiver at the speed park.
Well, so they give you this wristband, and I think the wristband says something like, by wearing this, you accept that. But, like, dude, it was crazy. So, any case, the City Museum was really cool. There was a giant praying mantis statue on the roof. Snapped a picture of that.
Ooh.
2 other things we did. We went to the zoo, which is free, which is insane, because parking was free. It's not usually if you have to buy, like, preferred parking, but we got there right at open. Entry is free, and you only have to pay for specific shows that you want to see. So Cassandra and I were there for like 5 hours. We saw the entire zoo, saw lots of freaking awesome animals, penguins, all sorts. Goats. There was a petting zoo that we got to go into for free. Bears, gorillas, everything. Elephants. Anything you'd imagine in a normal zoo. I think we got in and out of there, leaving, only spent like $25, and it was on drinks and food, the show that we went to go see, and like that was it. And so you could totally go in and just have a free day at the zoo and see all those animals. It was nuts. Really nice zoo, and the way they designed it was so that you're under the shade like 90% of the areas you walk in, just because there's a lot of trees. So even though it was a hot day, we nailed it. Like, it was really good. And I did something on my trip that I've always wanted to do but never had the courage to, Kevin.
Yeah?
I rode one of those ride-share, Uber-like scooter things in downtown St. Louis.
The scooter or?
The scooter. Like you get on there and you hit the acceleration and you go.
I want to so bad. I haven't.
We broke all the rules. A, supposed to wear a helmet. Didn't have helmets. No one else was wearing helmets.
No one has a helmet.
B, not supposed to ride them on the sidewalk. We had to. Only some of the roads had a bike lane. So we did that. And C, there was a weight limit. And I was well over the weight limit. And, dude, they're so much fun. They're kind of on the leg that you, like, plant on for the longer time. They kind of hurt after a while. But you have to push off a little bit to get it where you can kick on the acceleration. But, dude, those things move. And it's so easy. You literally just scan it and you're like, okay. It was like $1 every rental, and then
it's like 10 cents every mile or something.
It was
30 cents every mile.
It was 15 cents a minute.
Yeah, that's
so 10 minutes, $1.50. Like that's not bad at all, especially if you're trying to navigate through like like a typical uptown or downtown traffic. It was a lot of fun. On our way back, we planted some outside the city museum, and we hoped they'd be there when we got out. They were, which was awesome. But we were like 3 blocks away from the restaurant we were trying to get to, and mine died. And so eventually I could tell through the whole trip its max speed was starting to go down slowly but surely. I was like, I wonder what that's all about. And I saw that before we left, it was 22% battery. But I'm like, what is 22% battery on a scooter?
Yeah.
I like on a cell phone I kind of get an idea, but I don't know how long that's going to last me. And they tell you if one's too dead to operate, it won't let you check that one out. So we get like 3 blocks away, and I'm like, and I'm like, wait, because Cassandra just keeps going. So I'm like pedaling like a manual Razor scooter now.
Well, so it doesn't like lock up. You can.
No, you can still use it. It's just way worse than motorized or whatever. So that was really fun. I've always wanted to do that here in North Carolina, but I just am not uptown very often. And
dude, we need to all go uptown one day, or like go over to like
bar crawl, but with those
Plaza Midwood area,
yeah,
whatever. Go to some of those bars.
That'd be fun.
Hop on some of those scooters, go into uptown.
Yeah,
party in uptown a little bit.
That'd be fun. I'd definitely be down. I love those scooters. You have to be careful, obviously, with like traffic. But
yeah.
Other than that, that was the only nerve-wracking part.
So another thing, I think it happened while you were gone, but Post Malone teased his new song. I thought it was going to be an album, but hopefully it turns out to be an album.
Yeah, it'll be on the album, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I was hoping it would be too. But just a single, really good single though.
Really good single. Like I really like it.
I'm a big Post Malone fan. Whether you like his music or not, his story is a pretty cool one. And his most recent song is classic. Like
I didn't like I think it's a Young Thug who's on
the feature. Yeah.
Or I didn't like his part as much. And then it started to grow on me a little bit, and I was like, okay, not bad.
I will say the only reason I like it in the song is because it's a breakup from the rest of the song.
Yeah.
Like, it's different enough to give your ears, like, something else to listen to. So, Post Malone, new song.
Billie Eilish just released a remix of Bad Guy with Justin Bieber.
Yep, I saw that.
I like that version a lot more than the original.
What else was there? Ed Sheeran? Did you hear Remember the Name?
No.
He did a song with Eminem and 50 Cent, obviously playing off of Remember the Name, like their classic.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I listened to it when I got back.
Dude, what song was it? Him and Travis Scott have a song on there called Antisocial. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Ed Sheeran at all, but it's still like pretty good.
Yep. So interesting things happen in the music world. I don't remember how this came up while I was gone, but I remembered all I wrote down on my notes of things to talk about on the podcast was boy bands. And I don't remember why I wanted to talk to Kevin on the podcast about boy bands, but boy bands, Kevin, give us your thoughts.
I mean, NSYNC, that's a boy band. One Direction, they were a boy band.
Yeah.
They were a pretty good boy band.
Jonas Brothers?
Jonas Brothers, they came back.
Is that a boy band, though?
Yeah. They were a boy band, but now they're just like a band because they're not boys anymore.
Well, man band.
Boys in the band.
That's what we need to do. We need to form our own man bands. Forget boy bands.
Dude, let's do it. I'll play
what would our man band's name be?
The Man Buns. No, we don't have man buns.
Or just like intensity. Or like one word that's super dramatic, I feel like. But then spelled incorrectly.
True. Drop down in the comments what
okay, so if Kevin and I were to form a boy band, obviously we'd need a few other people, but what would our boy band's name be? Let us know in the comments. That'd be really funny. I'd love to see that.
Shoot.
Alright, and I got kind of one other thing I wanted to bring up on the podcast this week. I'm surprised how quickly we've gone through our list. And it's nice. I like keeping these like a week apart since like we've had some time since the other podcast, so there's more that's happened. Mm-hmm. There's a thing that I can't stand, and it's been happening my whole life, and I don't understand it, Kevin.
Okay.
There's 2 different types of toilets in this world, or at least toilet seats and shapes.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple shapes, but go ahead.
That's true, but like there's 2 like that I feel like you see on a regular basis in homes, in like whatever, mostly in homes. What describe a toilet seat? The first one that comes to your mind, like a toilet seat.
It's like an oval.
Oval. Yeah. Right? Oval shape. What the heck is wrong with people that use and buy circular toilet seats, Kevin? I hate them. They're too small. They don't fit nothing. They're uncomfortable. I feel like I'm going to poop on the seat half the time. They're just not good. And a lot of people use them.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's dependent on what type of toilet you get. Because, I mean, you can't have, like, a circular
You can't have
toilet.
a circular one on an oval bowl.
Yeah.
I know, but, like, why don't we just get rid of them? The oval one is very clearly superior in every way. Name one reason you would prefer a circular toilet seat than an oval one.
It takes up less space.
Bullcrap. You know how much time you spend on a toilet in your home, Kevin?
4 hours.
A day.
No.
But you spend a lot of time there. You don't want to be uncomfortable every time. You have to already be like kind of uncomfortable, you know?
I mean, I think my toilet, TMI, is like, I think it's kind of comfortable.
Is it circular?
It's like oval.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And there's no reason. We need to get rid of them. They need to be stopped being made in production. There's no purpose at all for them anymore.
I am 100% with you, Team Oval, but, I mean, someone might disagree with you.
I hope that they do, because I will ban them from the podcast. I hate it. One of Cassandra's house has them, and then Cassandra's family members, one of the houses we went to had them, and I'm sitting there, and this is probably too much information, but like, you got to be back far enough so your front's good, but you can't be so far back that your back's not good. Yeah. And like every time you go to use the restroom, it's this like freaking Tetris game of making sure every piece is in line, and then just to do your business. I hate it. I want them gone. And also, what are your feelings about windows in bathrooms, Kevin?
Like frosted windows or clear windows?
Clear windows. They're like 6-7 feet in the air, and
when you're sitting down, are they like
when you're sitting
eye
down,
level, or are they
when you're sitting down, you can't see out of it.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
No.
What?
How dare you? Maybe if it was frosted.
Open up that window, whatever, while you're just pooping.
No, and so you just like exhale it into the neighborhood. Your fumes.
Just let it out in the air.
No, dude. Listen, that same bathroom with the circular toilet had a window directly in front of the toilet. Now, granted, when you sat, you can't see when you're sitting, but it was also the wall that was the front of the house. So if someone was standing at your like front house and walked over to look through the window, they could just see you pooping.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
I'm not like that, man. I can't.
My aunt's house, or I think it's her new house. You like walk in, whatever, and like the bathroom's like to the left, and like the stairs are up there.
Yeah.
And the bathroom is on like the front part of the house, and so it has like from floor to ceiling one of those type of windows.
Oh heck no!
And it has like the shades on it, so you can like close it if you want.
But who cares?
But when like say like you're standing, a man standing to pee, like over half of your body is like in the window.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't really like windows. My ideal bathroom is a completely encased room, compartmentalized, where there's enough space around me. Another thing I hate sometimes is when you go to sit and you're hitting the toilet roll.
Oh.
Because they've installed it so close to the toilet, and so your leg is like, guys. You can sometimes smash your leg under it, and then it's like uncomfortable, but you can make it happen. Or otherwise you're like off kilter, because you're like trying not to hit the stupid thing, it's like jabbing you. Listen, my ideal bathroom, plenty of space. Basically what I want is a wall with just a toilet on it. And like a vertical stack of toilet paper rolls. And it's got to be wide enough for 3 toilets, but just have one, so there's enough space. I don't want any windows. I want an oval, and then I'm good.
I think you'd love my bathroom.
Maybe. I don't think
my bathroom, it's like very open. And, like the shower doesn't have like a tub. It's just kind of like on the floor, and there's like a drain in the middle, and it's sort of like whatever. So it's kind of like a gym shower.
Yeah, that's nice. I like standing showers.
And then upstairs, it's like sort of like the same sort of layout, except they have a tub. But there's a roll right next to you, which I mean you can reach easily. But then also right in front of you, so there's 2 different rolls. I don't know why.
Yeah, the other thing I don't like is when you're sitting on a toilet and it's next to the, I don't know what they're called, the sink, the standing sink or whatever. So yeah, I just don't want to be boxed in, man. I want to be.
Yeah, free. I think you would love mine.
Probably.
There's so much room.
Oh, and dude, one other thing, I knew you'd like this. I went to a wine tasting while I was gone.
God, I've been to one wine tasting and I loved it.
I don't like wine very much, but we went to this place and it was 8 tastings for $10.
Oh.
Yeah, and so we did 16 tastings, and I had 4 tastings because I'm not a big wine guy. And then Cassandra and her dad each had 6. And so I only tried sweet wines because I knew that's what I would like. They were all delicious. I could see myself, the ones I picked, I knew my flavor palette. So I did like blueberry, I did like apple, blackberry.
Oh, they had those type of wine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when I went wine tasting, it was just like, oh, this is, a Cabernet, this is a Pinot
well, they had stuff like that too, but... So I did that, and then my 4th tasting, the best thing that was there that I tried, is they had wine slushies.
Yeah, froze.
Oh my gosh. It was just mixed up like you'd find at a gas station. I don't know what the actual like mix or anything was. But I had a blueberry wine slushie, and it was so good.
Oh my god.
I don't even like wine, but I would drink that.
Frozes are fantastic.
Yeah.
I know, so we went with like a big old group, and there was one bottle to 2 people, like, oh, you get a bottle and glasses free, and it was like 1 bottle each to people.
Yeah.
So me and Mac ended up getting paired, and we're like, oh, so what bottle do you want? And so we were like listing like, oh, I like this one, I like this one. All of the wines that I liked, Mac didn't like, and all of the ones that he liked, I didn't like. So I was like, oh well.
That's funny.
I really wanted to get like the really sweet one, but he was like, oh, that's like way too sweet. I don't like that. Yeah. I was like, you're gonna be kidding me.
We also went to go. Cass bought 3 bottles, and they only charged us for 2.
Ooh.
We didn't know if she did it on purpose because of like we were tourists and she talked to us about it, or if she had been drinking some of her own supply. Because the 5 other customers that went before us, she rang them up wrong, every single one, no exaggeration. So we're like, maybe she's been drinking some of these tastings herself.
Maybe it's like her last day. She's like, I don't care anymore.
Maybe, I don't know. But so anyway, we happened to get that in our benefit, but. It was a fun trip. I'm happy to be home for sure. Obviously, like the drive back was like every minute felt like an hour because you just wanted to be back after the trip. But it was really good to see Cassandra's family. We had all those great experiences I talked about today. Obviously, missed you guys. Hope you've been enjoying the videos that have been coming out. Let us know in the comments. Interact with us. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before the end of the podcast? Or?
I think that about wraps it up, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. We talked about a lot. So obviously, make sure you guys are tuning in on Monday nights. Twitch.tv/AlwaysGametime. I stream the podcast every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And again, huge shout out to our sponsor, SwordGuysStore.com. Buy a sword. Go find someone you know needs a sword in their life. Buy it for them, or tell them the link.
I guarantee at least everyone knows at least one person that wants a sword.
You would be surprised. I've told a lot of people about this partnership. The video announcing it actually goes live like right after we're done filming here. I'm going to switch it live. So yeah, I mean, just help support this new partnership because we'll be able to do more fun stuff like giveaways and future events. But also, get your free gift, code AGTfreegift. And thank you again for the sponsorship. Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week and enjoy your week.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Probably just.
We should what? What is it that we should start, Kevin?
The ASMR channel.
This is the sound of me licking the microphone.
And today I will be.
Okay, that was awful. Don't recommend that, by the way.
Just lick the mic.
I did.